Hello, my name is Nathan Richardson, and I'm the pastor of Youth and Mission at First United Methodist Church here in Marion. A few years ago, I walked into the door and immediately I was greeted. They were kind and considerate and made me feel like I was very welcome, feel like a regular attendee. It seemed like people really cared. The atmosphere was electric, and there was live music all around. There was a feeling of joy and amazement. I took a seat and started to listen to the live music. Someone came up to me and told me her name and asked if this was my first time here. I nodded yes, and she started to tell me about the history, when they started, and what they are known for in the community. I found out she had been working there for 3 years and really loved her job. She asked me if she could help me in any way, just to let her know. She made me feel very welcome. I took out a flyer and noticed their vision was to serve all, love all, serve all. I thought to myself, this is a perfect motto. This service was great. They made me feel important. Their goal was to love me and serve me, and at that they were very effective. It was created as a place where all have been welcome, regardless of age, sex, or class. And as my waitress took my order, I knew I wanted to return. The Hard Rock Cafe opened its doors to its public on June 14th, 1971, in London, England. When I went there, I was 16 years old and knew that this was a restaurant was something special. It was not until years later, when I was walking by a Hard Rock Cafe in Denver, Colorado, that I remembered the motto, love all, serve all. It was not just a motto for a restaurant, but I thought as a ministry major at the time that this was a great motto for a possible church as well. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself is not just a plea or a desire from God, but a commandment. A commandment that if we fulfilled, would change the world. Love, however, is not something that you say, but is demonstrated in what you do. Our love for Christ and His church should be shown through service. This should be lived inside and outside of the church walls. In January of 2004, I was a recent college graduate. I had just moved down to South Carolina and literally owned nothing. My salary was barely full-time, and I did not have a lot of money. The first week in South Carolina, I stayed with a senior pastor while I was looking for an apartment. I finally found an apartment, but didn't really have anything to move in it. But the generosity, the love and support of the church family, the parents of the youth ministry were really generous. One parent was able to get me a couch and a chair. Someone else was able to help with a kitchen table and some chairs to put around it. Someone else even gave me a washer and dryer. This generosity reminded me again that we were all supposed to love all and serve all. And this was something that I was never going to be able to pay back, but their generosity was amazing. A few months later, I was able to get involved with an organization called Homes of Hope. This was a local ministry in the area that was actually ran by someone that had attended our church. The goal of the ministry was to help reform drug addicts and the homeless. As they went through the 12-step program, they were also taught a trade. And this was my opportunity to give back, to love all and serve all. We all have opportunities to serve, to love, to give back in different ways. And whatever your way is, I pray that you'd be able to find a way to be able to love all, serve all, but also be able to give all the glory to God in all things that you do. Now the question is, what are you doing in your community, in your church, to be able to serve?
I loved it the first time you told that story, Nate, when we were rehearsing, to hear the bomb on the Hard Rock Cafe when you say love all, serve all. I thought, what Methodist church is this? What church is Nate going to? And now I wonder how many churches have taken that as their motto. But I certainly know that it's a struggle for us to love all, serve all. But I really like the point and the kind of hook that was in that story.
As Christians, we try to strive to be like Christ. And if you had to boil who he was down, it would have to be, just as you said, a person who loved everyone and who was there to serve everyone. I think that's the challenge in our church. And I know that spiritual growth happens when you get your fingernails dirty in service to other people.
Yeah, Bob Dylan says you got to serve somebody.
Got to serve somebody.
Got to serve somebody. So you think, who am I supposed to serve? And I think that's the neat thing about watching churches evolve, is that a lot of people find different persons that they should serve. I've always felt compelled to serve the people that I can see, the people in my neighborhood, the people in my community. Others have that vision of serving the whole world, or going on, to mission, to Mozambique or someplace like that. But I'd be really interested in, as the groups talk too, to kind of figure out how they pick who they serve, because you have to serve somebody, but I'm pretty sure that I can't serve everybody. My reach just isn't that far.
The thing that stuck out for me was when you said that you were served in a way that you could never repay back. Mm-hmm. We hear stories about people who will buy the coffee for the person behind them at Starbucks because they're so, it was such a great gift that they got their coffee paid for. Those things are great, and we need to do those things, but you are basically paying back the gift that was given to you. And often we exchange those kind of services. We'll buy lunch this time, and the people we bought lunch for will buy it next time. Mm-hmm. I think it's really important for us to be able to try to give in a way that they can never repay back, and also to receive gifts or service that can never be repaid back.
I think there's really two different areas in the area of service that are really important to the church. One is when you're serving where your spiritual gifts are.
Yeah.
And it's natural and it's fun, and if you love little kids, teaching Sunday school is not a burden at all. It's what you look forward to doing. That's just recognizing and using your spiritual gifts. And we have taught that a lot in our church. But I think the other thing that we have come up with, what we have understood, is that there are also the jobs that just somebody has to go do them. Mm-hmm. Repair the leaky faucet, clean toilets. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important in the group discussions to look at the whole spectrum of the way we serve.
Absolutely.